Now that we have seen the power of Gen AI with large language model of how it can write the code, refactor the code, explains the code. But now that I'm going to switch our focus into some AI powered development tools. As I told you, there are tools like GitHub Copilot, for instance, which does AI pair programming with you. So if you just go to this particular website over here, you can see that it tells you that this is the world's most widely adapted AI developer tool, and it has got quite a lot of things over here. So you can write some unit testing if you wanted to for the selected methods over here. You can also help you make this code explained, and also it helps you refactor the code, check in the code with comments, and also help you write the code in a more concise fashion. So every single thing just happens based on this particular AI development tools. So this is one of the development tool, and it's all come with a paid version. So you can see that currently it's like $10 per month per user. But if you are a business user, then you gotta be paying like $19 per month per user. And if it is an enterprise, then it's gonna be even more higher. That's how it's going to be. I mean, it has got some pros and cons based on the type of user you are, and also it tells you what are the things it is available as a feature. So you can see that it has got unlimited messages and interaction, context aware coding support, debugging and security remediation assistance and stuff over here. And most importantly, these tools are going to be very, very handy, because if you are going to be working with an enterprise like a banking or maybe an insurance companies who are very, very safe and protecting the customer information, you can't just use GitHub Copilot by just using like an individual plan, because they need to be an enterprise plan or maybe a business plan who needs to have a secure coding practices, and they can't even allow the employees to use ChatGPT, because you're just copy pasting the entire code on this particular window as a prompt, and you pass in this information to the cloud of ChatGPT or maybe Claude Anthropic AI. And all these will mess up with the code being sent to the servers of a third party. I mean, they're not going to steal your data, but still you're passing the sensitive information and your codes to them. So the reason why these things are going to be blocked is because of this. And that's why all these companies are going to be moving towards this enterprise ready AI development tools. And you will notice that this GitHub Copilot is already available in enterprise, so you can directly use it. And this is one of the tools that I was talking about. And there is one more tool called as Tab9. So if I just go on hit Tab9, you can see that Tab9 is also an AI that you control. So if you just go there, probably not this over here, you will see that it gives you the same kind of information. So you can just sign up for free. It has got a 90 days free trial, and then you can see it also help you generate the code, and also it does quite a lot of different operation, which we are going to be seeing as a demo in this particular video. But yeah, these are another tool. And similarly, I was also talking about something called as AWS Code Whisperer, which is another AI based tool which will help you generate the code for many different programming languages. You can see that they have got some details, and these tools also comes like free for certain users, because at the moment you don't really have to pay for the AWS Code Whisperer, but these are not as powerful as the Tab9 or GitHub Copilot. So I am a paid version of this particular Tab9. So I'm going to go and show you at least some of the examples of the Tab9 and what magics it does. So if I just go to our IntelliJ IDE over here, if you remember, which we were discussing in our last lecture, you will notice that we have got this method over here. And if I wanted to, let's say, edit this method, or maybe I want an explanation of this method, because I'm a new employee to this company and I wanted to get the code being explained, because I've written this test code by somebody else and I've got this work from my company to refactor this code or maybe add more test cases. And if I wanted to start writing this code, I need to first of all understand what this code is. So guess what? You know what to do. You just copy this, paste it on the large language models like ChatGPT, you get the answer from them. But that is not quite right. You can now do this all by having a tool installed within this IntelliJ IDE, which is nothing but the Tab9. So if you just go to the marketplace and search for Tab9, you'll notice that I have already installed this plugin within my IntelliJ IDE, and I get the whole power of this AI development tool in here. You can also search for GitHub Copilot like that. You will notice that it also has got the GitHub Copilot extension over here, and you can start using it from there as well. That's all cool. You can do that. And since I have installed Tab 9, I'm also using the Tab 9 Pro. As you can see here, this makes sure that I can now use the Pro features. You see that there is this Tab 9 chat, which will also show you some more option. Like it says there is a welcome screen with all the things that this Tab 9 can do for you. And you notice that there is a Claude 3.5 Sonnet model is being chosen. How is that really happening? Well, this is the power of Tab 9, to be honest. You can now choose multiple different models based on your need. You can go with the Tab 9, which is a protected version. So you see that they have their own models, which is more trained with the source code and also know how to generate the code. You can see that it says extensively trained on permissive licenses to ensure no legal exposure of your code happens. So this is really great, which means the code which is generated by Tab 9 is not something like violating the legal requirement. It always generates the best source code for you, which is safe to use for bigger, larger enterprises, pretty much like copyrighted. And you can also see that they also have got model like Codestral from Mistral, and there is a Tab 9 plus Mistral, and there is an Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Command R plus GPT 4.0. So every single model that we are looking for is sitting in here. You can just switch to this model, and then you can see how the code generated based on these models. So let's say if I want to choose these Tab 9 protected or anything like that. So let's say if I'm going to use this one over here, and you can see that the Tab 9 protected has been chosen. And now I can just ask to explain this particular piece of code. So I'm going to just go select this particular code, and you see that we have got this explain option. So you can just hit in this explain, and it will start explaining it from the Tab 9 over here. It says that the selected code snippet is a test-ng test method named this one, and this method is entered with the add parameter and add test indicating blah blah blah, and what is this parameters does, what is this test does, and what is this every single thing happens, just shows you over here. And now you can also see there is a context where it says that can you explain the purpose of the home page and login page and employee login page class in this context of this test case. It just gives me suggestion already, and then you will notice that it is now starting to type those things for me as well, which is quite awesome. Every single thing just happens to me over here, and it just starts explaining me this code over here, which is pretty cool. And not only that, you can see there are some options over here where it shows you that you can put the slash to explain the code, generate the test code for the code, and document the code, fix the code, and explore this code. These are the things which are very, very important. So I'm going to show you some more project example this time, and I'm going to show you another code this time. So I'm going to just open Rider IDE over here, which is a C#.NET code base over here. We have got an application, and we have got some tests there. So this particular application, as you can see, is written using an MVC pattern. And you can see that this code doesn't really have any unit test at all. And if your developers or anybody wanted to write a unit test for, let's say, home control, you can just choose this home control over here, go to Tab 9, and then you can go to this test agent, and you can just ask him to write the test. You see that it has already generated quite a lot of test for me based on that particular controller. So you don't even have to do anything over here. It just generates the code for you based on the test plan. Similarly, if I go to the product control, and let's say if I wanted to write the test for this, so I can just go over here and create a new test plan, generate the test plan for this particular product control. And it says that I am going to create a new product controller.test.cs file, which is this one, and it is now generating a test plan for me for that controller. Essentially, you are not going to be writing even a single line of code, and all these code generations are going to be happening for you behind the scene over here for you, as you can see. So you can see that it has generated the code like this. And if you just go to this particular product controller, you can just say, okay, there we go, just insert this particular code for me, and it just inserts the code. So this is way more better than the normal large language model that we were just looking at, because for them, you don't even have, for this one, as you can see here, you don't even have to copy paste anything, because every single operation is going to be taken care from your IDE itself, and you don't really need to get out from this IDE. So this is another way for us to make sure that we write better coding and also refactor the code like how we are looking for. And this is going to make our life even more easier using these AI based development tool. And this is another way for us to see how Gen AI can help us write better test codes.